So in this particular situation here, this is actually live footage from some cameras that we have set up in the building. So the top two feeds, you're seeing two of our resident artists who are actually working on a collaborative piece together, in which where you're seeing the bottom two feeds that are being streamed via a YouTube service. So it's about a 30-second delay there. But the idea is that in one specific area, we can put all that information to let you or whoever may be viewing can see that. So this whole setup can be also streamed out anywhere in the world with an internet connection. All right, so at VMASC we've been working on our what we call a ghost in the building. So a ghost in the building can take on various shapes and forms. In our particular interest, we decided to start with a piece of furniture and build in some intelligence. So there's some custom IoT sensors and hardware that's gone into this table, as well as some cloud supportive services from IBM Watson and Amazon Cloud Services to data capture and data store. And really the idea is about having a cognitive digital assistant that can kind of help us launch and facilitate our day-to-day operations and or experiments. So this is currently very much in development, and behind me you're kind of seeing a visual representation of that right now. So it's a real-time feed that's tied in with a program called Unity 3D, and we're also piping in the visual representation of the cameras right now. So at some point you'll see in the background a video feed coming in from the current event that we're at live right now. But the idea really is to have the capabilities of an assistant to help maybe leverage or start an experiment. So instead of having to go through the normal process of opening a bunch of different applications and making sure your feeds are good, you would just open up Sphero and say, hey Sphero, I'd like to start an experiment. And he would go and from a point of view of dialect, so talking to it, we'll understand what you want to do and basically go ahead and run that operation. So he's, like I said, he's currently in testing right now. We're working on having him as be a greeter at the door just to get some base data so we can start doing a training process on that data. What it's really around is normal day-to-day human interaction. So normally when we sit down with the computer, we interact with the keyboard and mouse. It's not very human, right? So this is supposed to not be that way. It's supposed to be something that's part of the day-to-day. You would talk to it. It would greet you, where your normal assistants right now, if you're familiar with Amazon Alexa or Google Assistant, they wait for you, right? They're always waiting for you to prompt, but that's not how normal conversation works. So we've been working on how that looks. It's actually a very complicated problem when you start to break it down. So that's actually currently on display right now. We also have Sphero 2 here in the background here as part of our little animation series to let you know what our capabilities are at VMASC. So we have cybersecurity, adaptive training, education, so all the things that we've currently kind of been talking about. Evacuation modeling in real time with our cameras. And yeah, so part of the reason why we wanted to use a piece of furniture is because it kind of ties back into everyday objects, and when you start to build intelligence into those everyday objects, you get very interesting results that aren't in your face. So you wouldn't walk into your house and have this really weird object that's sitting there talking to you. You just have a piece of furniture, and then what happens if that piece of furniture can maybe monitor your vitals or greet you or let you know about the weather or check what you're wearing and say, hey, it's too cold outside, you might want to change what you're wearing, right? Those are all things that we're looking at. So we're trying to do that in a fun and light way. All right, VMASC, we also have two new setups to enable to do some live virtual construction. And so to represent that, we actually built an application that allows two different individuals across space and time, actually in the same building, to network and collaborate in a virtual environment. So you're seeing one of our artists out of the Chrysler Museum, goes by the name of Josh. He's actually working on a piece of digital art with another artist who's across the room in a different part of the building, and they're in a networking environment where they can hear themselves talk. They have different tools and assets that they can work with together in a collaborative environment. Josh is actually by nature a glass artist, so for him this is a little outside of his norm, but he's already been talking about how interesting it is from a collaborative point of view and how he wishes he could do this in a more 3D environment. So he's in a 3D environment, but they're actually painting on a flat canvas.
It's like very relaxing.
As part of the live virtual construction, we've got here is our servers running right now, and what you're seeing is on the right screen our artists in residence to the right, Josh, and then our left screen our artist in residence, Bato, off to our left. And their actual collaborative effort is being projected here on this 180 half dome. So you're actually seeing it from the outside in, or as if you were kind of behind the theater screen looking out at the crowd in a way. So it's kind of upside down from the normal perspective. And really what this allows, again, to do is from an outside point of view, you can kind of sit back and in real time see what's happening. So a little bit about the mission control engineering as well. Part of this too allows them, so they're actually collaboratively talking right now back and forth, and so we can actually tap into that. So I'm going to see how they're doing real quick. What's up, guys? How y'all doing out there? DJ John, yep, that's right. So we're recording right now. So I just want to let you know this is a very, very peaceful piece of art you guys have done here. I feel like you've stepped outside of your normal dark and moody. Oh, that's awesome. All right, guys.